do you plan on doing something with this? I wouldn't link it until you plan on doing something with it. Otherwise, think about it like this. Think about it. If you include these links and there's nothing to show for it, people are going to be like, WTF. Why did I wasted like, you get like 10 seconds of their time, and that's so precious. Their time is so precious. They got 1,000 resumes to go through. Like, just look at the chat. Everyone's like, you're going to do mine? You're going to do mine? You're going to do mine? That's HR when they're looking at resumes. Like, oh my God, I got 900 more to look at today, and I still have to do my job. So think about their 10 seconds as like the most valuable time ever. And so if you make them click links that don't have anything, you've essentially wasted like 3 seconds of their time minimum. See what I'm saying? Maybe that helps. So I already said this, but I'm not sure if the recorded version is going to have it or not. So anyways, as a thank you, I'd like to review some portfolios and resumes and stuff like that. You guys have given me so much, so I'd like to give back. Yeah, okay, let me just preface this stream and say, it might seem like I'm being kind of mean, but I'm not trying to be mean. All right, number 1, education does not need to be at the top. None of this matters. I don't care about this. I just want to see what you can do. So put your education at the bottom. Publications. You have a publication but no link to it. We're going to need a link to the publication. Give me a link somewhere I can read it. I don't want to read. And I don't want to read this paragraph. Experience and projects. This should be at the top. Detection, recognition. That's cool. You got links. That's good. This is too much information. You need to shrink this down a lot. Same for this. You should try to keep your resume to 1 page. This is like a cover letter resume combo. Again, research intern. I'm gonna need to see some sort of verification. Please don't use paragraphs when you're describing what you did on your resume. Please don't do that. No one's gonna read this. No, you get like 5 seconds. This is like 5 seconds just to read this. If you're like a speed reader. All right, yeah, dude. This resume's got to shrink down. It's got to shrink down big time. You need to get this down to 1 page. Hobbies, take this off unless you're applying to a startup. Skills, this needs to go up at the top. Awards, none of this really matters. Unless you think it's a company that would appreciate these. Like if you have a company that is like sponsoring the hackathon, then yeah, I would put the winner of the hackathon. But skills got to go up at the top for sure. Also, you got white space here. Mine contains personal info. Remove the personal info. Projects. These should be centered for sure. This is kind of a strange. I'm on a 2K monitor, so I'll bring it to 1080. So on 1080 it's centered, but on 2K it's not. So you need to like text align center this right here. Let's see how you're doing it. Let's do a little investigation. You're doing a flex container width 70%. So you're trying to center this with width. I don't. Facebook, no good. People, unless this is like a professional, I don't want to click on it because I don't want to get you doxxed or anything. But GitHub, that's good. LinkedIn is fine. You should put links to these, unless this. Okay, so it is a link. That's cool. Maybe a little. When I mouse over it, the text inside of it could be something like a little description. I mean, right now it just says image management, to-do app. I don't know if to-do app's going to get you very far anymore. I'm pretty sure everyone in the world has done the Colt Steele's to-do app, so I just see we always got backseat coders. Justify content center. I'm not like, I appreciate it, but like this is what happens. As soon as you open code, everyone's like, well, I know. The font is a little strange. I would personally use something that's sans serif, which means a serif font. A serif font has these little things on the ends of the letters. Here. That's a serif. Personally, I think it's most professional and the most modern to do something sans serif, which doesn't have that. Is this Comic Sans? Are you using Comic Sans? Yeah, this is a sans serif text, if you guys are curious. I think that's the most modern, the most professional. Skills over here, those are good. I appreciate it. I feel like you have more skills than this. but you're just putting the big ones here. I don't know. I feel like if you were to shrink these down, you'd be able to fit more skills. This looks good. Got your action verb built, fine-tuned, fine-tuned. I would try to figure out another way to say this. You've used fine-tuned twice. I would try to give links to anything that you did. Like you're giving the contact. I typically wouldn't give these emails unless they ask for them. Improved, built, experimented, action verbs are good. But there's no links. There's no links to any of this. Projects here, we need links. Education at the bottom, perfect. Interests. All right, everyone says, like, should I put my interests? And it's always my thought that don't put your interests unless you think the company cares. If it's a startup company that does rock climbing and they're hiring a developer for their, like, inventory website, maybe put that you like rock climbing as an interest. That might help you out. Oh, Dante says it does have an API. Okay, cool. So for the to-do app, we were just looking at a second ago, it did have a backend. So you should definitely say that. What do you think about the number of pages for a CV? One page. One page. You can fit everything on one page, and if you can't, you got too much info. Anything else, like give them a link. Give them a link to other important things, because you just don't get that much time. So this is it. Why do you have hamburgers? Let's check it out. Oh, you got a picture. Take the picture off. People are judgmental. People are racist. People are, you know, like, don't do it. Take it off. No one, it shouldn't matter what you look like, therefore remove it. Unless you're in the EU, which they, like, some reason the EU is weird and they're like, where's your picture? I don't think that's relevant to if I can do the job or not. Take it off. This isn't a link at all. You're gonna get popped for all these things, dude. People are gonna, you know, imagine they're gonna mouse over this, they're gonna see their cursor change, they're gonna click, and it's not gonna load. And then but did it load this time? Okay, so now it's loading. Can you explain what's going on? Also, something I'm noticing up here is that it's not secure. There's no HTTPS here. This is, I mean, you're not selling anything, but I feel like if you're applying for a job, you should be familiar with HTTPS, and this should be secured. Like if you had a contact page on here and it wasn't HTTPS secured, I'm not gonna fill it out because your information can get hijacked. So that's a big one. I don't know why is this a thing? You should take this off. You want to keep it simple. Web and email developer. I don't think putting email developer as like a title does much for you. I feel like if you're a web developer, you're an email developer. But if you're an email developer, you're not a web dev. Like, it doesn't go both ways. You know, like a web dev can be an email dev, but can an email dev be a web dev? Because they're, you know, that's like, email dev's like a subset of web dev. It's like a one-way road. I would just put web developer. And then talk about doing email stuff. Some Photoshop Illustrator skills. Don't put some Photoshop. You're shooting yourself in the foot by saying this. This is too much info. Don't say that. Just say Photoshop Illustrator skills. I don't know how to gauge what does some mean. Some JavaScript. Remove that. I don't know what that means. Project management. Can you back that up? What does that mean? I don't know, man. These are big claims. Soft skills are really hard to prove. Really, really hard to prove. Languages. Turkish, native, English expert. So if you're working in an English country and you know English like well enough to work, don't put languages. And well, I know in Canada like you should put French, right? For like Montreal and Quebec, but I don't think like this isn't going to help you in the US, but you're working in Canada, it looks like. I worked here for 8 months as a part-time employee. Good. Perfect. That looks good. Achievements, tasks. Not yet. I'm working on what to write on here today. Okay, so I hope you don't send this resume out with this bullet point. Please don't. Please don't do that. How many portfolios are you planning to review on today's stream? I don't have a number. Web dev certificate. You're gonna get laughed at. Don't put these on here. Certificates don't mean anything because I can just write my own certificate and put it on here. Like this doesn't. I don't know if you took a test. I don't know if you had to pass a class. I don't know if you were graded. I don't know how hard you were graded. I don't know if this is accredited. Certificates don't mean anything in web dev unless it's like Cisco or IT or networking. That's it. Certificate of Leadership by George Brown College. I still don't know. Like, you can get you could get a certificate in leadership without being a leader. Gain effective time management skills. Can you say how? Like, what did you do? It's too vague. I'm like reading it from like a hiring perspective, because I had to hire a couple people. There was a couple jobs I had to hire people at, and when I would read stuff like this, it was like, what does this mean? I don't know what this means. Problem solving. This is inherent. This is required. This is required to do the job. Time management. This is required to do the job. Like, none of these things right here are skills. These are just expected. What about the EDX Harvard certificate? No, none of that matters, because you don't have to do anything to get it. You can just click next. Fast learning. What does that mean? How fast is fast? Does that mean you can learn all of JavaScript in a day? You know, because I feel like, what if they expect that of you and you put fast learning? Take all these off. Take all these off. None of these you can prove. Take them off. The rest are fine. And remove some. Exceptional analytical skills. You know, if you claim something like this, you're going to have to prove it, right? Like, the burden of proof is on the person making the claim. You heard that, right? Do you plan on doing something with this? I wouldn't link it until you plan on doing something with it. Otherwise, think about it like this. Think about it. If you include these links and there's nothing to show for it, people are going to be like, WTF. Why did I wasted, like, you get like 10 seconds of their time, and that's so precious. Their time is so precious. They got 1,000 resumes to go through. Like, just look at the chat. Everyone's like, you're going to do mine? You're going to do mine? You're going to do mine? That's HR when they're looking at resumes. Like, oh my God, I got 900 more to look at today, and I still have to do my job. So think about their 10 seconds as like the most valuable time ever. And so if you make them click links that don't have anything, you've essentially wasted like 3 seconds of their time minimum. See what I'm saying? Maybe that helps.